The Nepali Congress-led coalition government has marked 1 year of its term. However, despite glossy commitments, public are still compelled to reel under growing inflation and lack of good governance. To add to it, ministers and government officials have continuously been engulfed in controversies in recent time, which certainly won't augur well for the country. Good morning, I'm Sapsanamma, and these are the headlines of the hour. Lawmakers of ruling alliance, among other, demand probe into Governor Mahaprasad Adhikari, say the Central Bank Authority is a member of opposition UML's Finance and Planning Department. Office of the Auditor General publishes its 59th annual report. Arrears increased by 115 billion rupees, showing lack of financial discipline. Sri Lanka's Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe directs the military to do everything necessary to restore order after protesters storm his office. And Nepal secure crucial 5 wickets win over Scotland in ICC World Cricket League 2 in Tri-Series. Asif Sheikh top scores with 71 runs for Nepal. Registration for candidates for the post of Deputy Speaker at the House of Representatives that has been vacant since more than 2 years is to take place today. The Federal Parliament will take in applications and publish the list of candidates today itself, while the voting will be held tomorrow. Speaking at the session of the lower house yesterday, Speaker Agni Sapkota had informed that the voting for a new Deputy Speaker will be held at 1 p.m. on Friday. The post has been vacant since the then Deputy Speaker Shivamaya Tumba Hamfi resigned on 20th of January 2020. Based on constitutional provisions, the post of Speaker and Deputy Speaker at the Parliament should be held by different genders and from different parties. The Central Committee meeting of Nepali Congress that leads the ruling alliance is to resume today. The meeting will be held at the party's central office in Sanepa at 1 this afternoon. Ministers at the incumbent government from the party are to respond to queries from the other members of the party amid growing criticisms over the government's performance. Majority of the members that spoke at the meeting yesterday had opined the government had failed to perform and had strongly criticized Party President and Prime Minister Sherbadu Dewa. The Central Committee meetings have suggested the party should form strategies for the upcoming federal and provincial elections based on its performance at the local level election. Party office bearers are also scheduled to present their opinion at the meeting today. Now, Nepal Rastra Bank, the central bank of the country, is also financial advisor to the government. Mahaprasad Adhikari is the current governor. However, it has been understood that the governor is also a leader of the financial department of main opposition party CPN-UML. Calls for investigation have intensified at all levels as UML leader Adhikari has been serving as the governor of Nepal Rastra Bank by ignoring the legal arrangements terming political leaders ineligible to hold the designation of governor. The Central Bank Act clearly states that governor and deputy governor, among other high-ranking officials, cannot be the members of any political party. Prior to this, Adhikari was drawn into criticisms regarding his academic credentials. As opposed to the government commitment of ensuring financial good governance, arrears have continued to increase in recent time. Based on the 59th report of the Office of the Auditor General, arrears have increased by more than 115 billion rupees in the previous fiscal year. With this, the total government arrears have reached 829.15 billion rupees. According to the report, the arrears have increased by 15% in relative comparison to previous year. The Office of the Auditor General has attributed the increase in arrears to inadequate preparations before selecting projects, trend of spending under headings not included in the budget, and spending during the end of the fiscal year. Experts have termed the increase in arrears a consequence of absence of financial discipline. It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion. The question is, what do you term the increasing trend of arrears? Your options are A, absence of financial discipline, B, corrupt nature, and C, lack of accountability. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. The Nepali Congress President Sherbadu Dewa-led coalition government has marked 1 year of its term. However, this period has been largely spent in sustaining power. With public compelled to reel under several problems, good governance has been ignored by the government. The Supreme Court had reinstated the parliament and appointed Nepali Congress President as the Prime Minister last year, his fifth term as the Premier of the country so far. Dewa had failed to give a complete shape to the Council of Ministers in the first 88 days and had introduced the common program of the government with the objective of ensuring productive performance of the government. However, topics including in the program have been limited to documentation. Dewa-led government has been drawn into several controversies since its early days. Before the reinstated parliament could begin its regular work, the government introduced an ordinance regarding split of political parties, which saw the disintegration of CPN-UML and Janata Samajwadi Party. Dewa then found himself among another controversy for the appointment of non-parliamentarian Gajendra Hamal, a relative of Chief Justice Cholendra Samsher Rana, as a minister. The cabinet has been reshuffled 7 times in the period of just 1 year. Despite the registration of the no-confidence motion against Chief Justice Rana, the government has not paid any attention towards concluding parliamentary procedures in this regard. The government has also failed in prioritizing implementation of federalism and public service delivery. The national economy is on a downward spiral trend in recent time as well. With increasing import, the foreign currency reserve is also depleting. Development expenditure has not even reached 50%. With inflation increasing at an alarming rate, Finance Minister was compelled to resign for involving an unauthorized person while planning for the budget. Except for the local level election, the government has not performed any other memorable task in the period of 1 year. However, the government has termed its 1 year in power successful. Instead of ensuring ease in service delivery by implementing laws, the government spent its 1 year in ploys to sustain power. Now, with the nearing provincial and parliamentary elections, less can be expected from the government in terms of efficiency. In this context, in our Public Voice segment, today we've asked people in several provinces what do they think of the 1 year of the incumbent government. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
पुरै राम्रो जस्तो अनुभूति भएन
सरकारले काम गर्न सकेको छैन
खासै काम भएको यताउता गरेकै देखिएन
धेरै महँगीहरू बढेको छ दुःख पीडाहरू अहिले उस्ताको उस्तै रहिरहे
हामी जनता जातिमा होइछौँ
संविधानले एउटा ट्र्याकमा लाने कुरालाई चाहिँ एउटा राम्रो पक्ष भयो
Nepal have secured an important 5-wicket win over Scotland in the ICC World Cricket League 2 tournament. After being put to bat first, Scotland were bowled out for 144 runs in 42.5 overs. Gavin Main remained unbeaten for the hosts with 64 runs, while only 3 other batters scored in double digits. Sompal Kami and Mohammad Adil Alam picked 3 wickets each for Nepal. In reply, Nepal chased the target of 145 runs in 25.1 overs. Ashif Sheikh top scored for Nepal with 71 runs, while Kushar Bhurtel added 27. It was also Nepal's first ever win over Scotland in one-day internationals. And that's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.